Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be talking about Bleach Thousand Year Blood War Arc, episode 34, Baby, Hold Your Hand. Oh man, this may be my favorite episode of the season so far, only because of the characters that are involved here. So in this episode, we see a very faithful adaptation of one of the most interesting fights. We see Mayuri facing off against Pernita after Kenpachi's kind of taken out. This was also just a really big milestone for the series overall. It is the 400th episode of Bleach, and I think that was definitely something that was planned. Mayuri is a character that is one of Kubo's favorites, that is well known. Also, something really fun that I discovered, I didn't even know about this, but the voice actor who voices Mayuri also voices Frieza in Japan. And once you hear that, I couldn't like unhear like just that. There's a subtle there's a subtle tone, subtle sameness that we see here. So yeah, it's really cool. So let's kind of go through this. Not a lot of big stuff happens outside of this fight with Pernita. We do see that the Quincy are kind of getting ready to go fight. Also, before I get into spoilers, this fight is only about half the way through, just from what I remember and what I've seen online. Um, Mayuri and Pernita. There's still going to be a little bit more, but I think we're going to take a break just based on the name of the next episode. We're probably going to see Shinsui face off against, I forget the name of the guy with the rifle, but it should be facing off against him maybe, and then maybe we'll see some Quincy as well. Although I feel like they're going to save the Quincy fights amongst Quincy's, like the Basby Hersher fight till maybe the end of the season. That'll probably be a good way to close that out as all the Quincy attack the castle. But let's talk about the big fight. So Kenpachi is the one that obviously opens the attack first. That's just what he does. That's Kenpachi, and this cost him an arm because he doesn't understand. And up until this point, I didn't even remember how Pernita's abilities exactly work. But he uses his ability to twist. He starts twisting Kenpachi's arm, and it looks super gnarly. Just the arm going around. It's just very well done. Great sound effects too, because it's like squishy and stuff. But Kenpachi rips up his own arm to stop that from happening. Mayuri then tells him that that was probably a smart thing to do. Otherwise, he'd end up as like this, exploded meatball. He called him pretty much. Um, yeah, and this is where Mayuri steps in. He begins to analyze Pernita's ability. It is revealed that Pernita is the left arm of the Soul King, and it's just looks crazy. They do use a lot of CGI for specifically for Pernita, which I think makes it stand out because it is the Soul King, and they did something similar with the Mama Higi. Yeah, the right arm that we saw earlier in the season. Um, Mimi Hagi. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of all these names, even with all the notes. But yeah, they did something similar, and I think Bleach has been using CGI animation very sparingly, just to make sure that it highlights and accents some of the best things that it should. And I think it's a good choice for Pernita to be mostly CGI looking. It doesn't feel out of place. It just feels like he's an otherworldly kind of entity, so it would make sense that he would look weird and different. But yeah, the fight begins. Mayuri's fighting is always really fun because uh, he's smart. Like he just goes in this like trying to examine, trying to prod. Right, we saw with the fight from the beginning when we saw him fight Uryu during the invasion of the Soul Society. Um, it is just so much fun. He pulls out these really crazy looking umbrellas to protect himself. He finally understands Pernita's ability, and this is when he kind of launches his counterattack. Um, he begins to attack Pernita, rips off one of his fingers, and then he finally unleashes his new Bankai that I didn't write down the name. But he modifies his Bankai according to what he needs in battle, which is I think very interesting. And you can tell just Kubo loves this character by making him like, I'm not saying he's a character that can't or won't lose, but Kubo very protective of like make sure that he doesn't look weak or foolish. But eventually we see this new gigantic baby Bankai. being born out of his old Bankai. It is crazy. And his new Bankai eats Pernita. Pernita had been split into three different arms, and it just eats him. And this is where Mayuri kind of goes crazy. He begins laughing. Just incredible stuff. Great animation, great voice acting. Really, really good episode, and I just loved it. So I'm excited to see where we go from here. I don't think we have too many episodes left for this season, and I'm gonna be really sad when this is over. But I'm gonna enjoy every episode for as long as we can for now. So if you're still watching Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, let me know how are you enjoying this core three. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.